Hello everybody and welcome back to the third episode in my How to Use Your Planner series. So first off, we've had basics of planning, what it is, how you can use it. Then the second episode was goal planning, so how you can use your planners and different kinds of planners to do your goals or your projects in different ways. I will leave a link to both of those videos down below. But let's not get carried away. We are here for the third, of which I have chosen work. Yeah, it's a bit of a touchy subject, I think, especially at the moment. I will not get into it, but with so many more people working from home and becoming self-employed, I thought now was the perfect time to really tackle how you can plan out your work and ways that you can perhaps feel a bit more in control about what you're doing. And perhaps you've been running a business for a while and that is absolutely amazing, and I totally take my hat off to you guys. But for those who are just starting out, I really hope that this video helps you find a way that you can make your work a little more coherent, perhaps a little more organised. So before I get started, I wanted to just share with you my current planner in case you haven't watched my previous videos. I am currently using a normal classic happy planner. It is vertical, not hourly, not horizontal, just standard. If I show you a weekly, here we go. Here's a weekly spread. Just a standard vertical classic happy planner. I use this as my weekly overview, therefore this has everything in my life, personal and work. However, I have been really contemplating changing up my planning style. I know, big shocker. But I wanted to share how you could plan your work. Many people have a completely separate planner just for work, and I really do admire those who do that, because having that homework balance is not only awesome that you get to have two planners out of it, but it's also crucial in the fact that you don't overwork yourself. This is kind of where I'm at the moment with my brain. I need to get some segregation. Homework. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, how do you possibly plan your work in a planner? The first obvious choice is your usual brain dump. This could be done in a vertical happy planner. You could separate it out into perhaps areas of work and then just list everything in the hope that you get it done in one day. My advice to you, if you work best in that way, and I'm not saying it's wrong, there are plenty of people out there, and to a certain extent I am this too. If you can just get everything on one piece of paper and then you just start doing stuff and crossing things off, that can really work. And sometimes giving yourself a shock as to how much there is to do can kind of motivate you in a way to get things done. But I really would not suggest buying a happy planner if you are a brain dump kind of person. I also wouldn't suggest you go and buy an Erin Condren or a plum planner or any other kind of planner. Why? A notebook. A smart price Asda if you live in the UK, or perhaps Wilko's notebook from Walmart or Target, or Michael's if you are in the US. Brain dumping is great in a notebook. The reason why pages can't get lost in a notebook is bound. You have everything kept together. You can't just start taking random pages out, then losing it, binning it perhaps, and getting rid of everything. I really would not suggest you wasting your money either. Sometimes, I love planners, that's pretty obvious. But sometimes for those small little tasks that just need to be written down somewhere, you don't want to either waste pages in your happy planner for that, perhaps never use it again. If you are the kind of person that does a monthly brain dump, buying a weekly classic happy planner wouldn't be worth your money. And therefore, I really would recommend that if you are a notebook kind of person, you stick with that. You stick with whatever you are used to. Saying this, if you have made a brain dump and you still feel a little overwhelmed by your everlasting list of things to do for work, or perhaps you just need something that's a little bit more organised or something like that, then the Happy Planner, the Erin Condren, inserts for Kiki K or Filofaxes, or if you still manage to have a paper chase planner, there are plenty of ways that you can use it. At the moment, currently on the market, there are plenty of vertical planners which are separated into 3 sections. For those who had the original, or the OG, if you want to call it that, the OG Erin Condren, you would know that it used to be called morning, evening and afternoon. Now this used to be separated by little thing headers. People never used to use it, but if you are self-employed, or you are person, perhaps if you work in healthcare and you often have to do double shifts, perhaps you do one in the morning, come home for a couple of hours, go back out in the evening, the 3 sections can be amazing for that. For example, you could write down in your top section, you could have your shift. Perhaps if you need to track your hours for your wage, you could have your hours. You could have the key areas that you need to focus on. Perhaps you need to have a to-do list. Then if you need to mark out separate areas for breaks, again, many workplaces take money off the amount of time that you take for breaks, or if you have multiple breaks, schedule out when you need to take breaks so you get the most out of your work and your break time, but without losing any money. So that is one way that you could use a planner to do your work. The other thing that you could do is split it up by projects. Again, this is very similar to my video last week, but a lot of companies are project based. Perhaps you are a project manager, therefore having a planner with separated areas like this with columns, and you can do it in the horizontals as well, you can just make lines, separate it out project by project, so every day you have perhaps 3 things per project that you need to focus on. Assign this task as this person, do this one, delay that one to another day. That kind of system could work really, really well. And I would also really suggest that no matter how you plan, try and get into something in a mindset in that if you have to delegate something or delay it, do so. Otherwise you will put pressure on yourself and you will burn out. I talk from experience. So that's another way that you can use your planner. The other thing, if you are a freelancer or someone who is self-employed, or perhaps you own multiple businesses like I do, you could, instead of having it separated out by projects, separate it out by your businesses. The great way that I love to plan, I like to batch schedule things. I have 3 businesses. I have Deskorators, I have Alea, which down below will explain what that is, but it is a tarot divination site, and I also have me. I am an influencer in my own right, I am a virtual assistant, I help people, and I want to coach people to help them organise their time better. So with 3 things going on in my life, it'd be pretty hard to track them all unless I started thinking to myself, okay, Monday, social media day. Get all my social media scheduled. Things that can be scheduled, that is. Lifestyle photos are different because they can be just taken at the time, posted at the time. That's a little bit different. But things like blog posts that are already pre-written, Things like YouTube videos, such as this one that's already been pre-filmed and then scheduled, you can schedule and not have to worry. Therefore, with this, you could use your bottom, if you don't mind covering up the quote, use your bottom to give yourself a set day for items, and then you could use areas in your planner for each of your businesses. So yes, for example, if I made social media my scheduling day, my Monday for my social media scheduling day, I could be schedule 3 blog posts in for one business, schedule lifestyle photos for another, schedule YouTube video on the last one. You then have other things like perhaps you need to write the blog posts, have a filming day. Batch scheduling work is an amazing day to not only stay productive, but also you save a lot of time because you're already in that mindset, you're already in the flow. You may have already heard of people talk about the art and the state of being in the flow. It works, guys. I have tried flipping and switching between tasks, multitasking. I have tried all the other productivity tips. There is nothing worse, trust me, getting out all my filming equipment, that's my tripod, my 2 lights, my phone, filming something, putting it away because I've scheduled perhaps writing a blog post afterwards, and then thinking to myself, I've now got to film another video, getting it all back out again. I used to do that. It doesn't work. In fact, it just gets you annoyed, it gets you frustrated, it wastes your time, and then you begin to lose your passion in what you're doing. And I really would not recommend that. So where you can and wherever possible, batch schedule your work. And I think that's probably my main tip in this video. If possible, batch schedule. And this can be done for those who aren't self-employed as well. If perhaps you work in-house as a social media manager, you can schedule different types of content on different days, or set a specific time each day to reply, to follow, do that kind of thing. If you're in retail and perhaps you have set jobs that need to be done throughout the week, for example, deliveries, you're already in that flow. Schedule your time towards that and your job requirements. The last thing that you can do is do your work in a monthly. Of course, another great way to track your hours, to track your shifts. And I really do suggest, if you are on an hourly contract rather than a standard salary one, you can just write down, let me just grab here we go. Grab a small pen and write down the hours that you worked, the amount of time that you took for breaks. And that is really useful. Another key thing to think of, especially if you are self-employed or a freelancer, is pre-planning. Which, it has its pros and it has its cons. Pre-planning is amazing because you can wake up and you have a to-do list there and it's ready. You can wake up, have your breakfast, have a shower if you have it in the morning, and you can get going. You know exactly what you're doing and you can fly with that. And that suits a lot of people, but other people rely on their creative juices, especially a job which is a bit similar to mine. You've got to be in the flow again. You've got to be wanting and ready to sit in front of a very warm light box and talk about planning for about half an hour. That's your creative side coming, and if you do not feel inspired, if you do not feel creative, there is no point wasting your time filming something because you scheduled it in. And this is where adapting and flexibility come into play. I always try to allow myself a good hour or two in the day of just free time. Now, this isn't family time. I would like to highlight that. Family time is different. That is time I'm spending gaming, spending time with friends, perhaps having a date night. I'm talking in my set work hours, of which I try to give myself between 9 and 6 or 9 and 7, depending on when I have my dinner. And in that time, 1 hour of that will not have had something scheduled. Therefore, if one day I had to put something off because I wasn't in the mood for it, I can do it another day when I feel like I'm good enough for that day. Or perhaps you've done your to-do list and you've got an hour free and you're in that flow and I want to feel more, I want to write more, I want to schedule more, I want to do more. You've given yourself that time. Don't be too rigid, but don't be too relaxed. And again, that is something that you're going to have to work out and find for yourself. But I do really hope that this video helped someone. If you have any more tips or you have any questions about ways to plan out your work, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. But if you did like this video, don't forget to press that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to share this video with a friend. We are so close now to 100 subscribers, and I would like to say a massive thank you to all those who have subscribed recently. I think we've had 10 in just a couple of days, so that really does mean the world. And with 100 subscribers, we can get a personalised URL for Deskorators, and with that will come a lot more content. So yes, please do subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, bye guys.